Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the fifth episode of
I think this is number four.
yeah, say it with me. Wait, what episode is
This
this?
is number four. This is the fourth episode.
This is the fourth ever fifth episode of
Okay,
the rest is no, it's the second ever fourth episode of the rest is socks. Um,
sure.
oh yeah, sorry. Say it with me. Three, two. The
The
rest
rest is
is.
you're supposed to
This
say
is a
one.
brilliant intro.
Okay, we'll get it one day. We'll
We're
get it one
doing.
day.
We'll get it. We'll get it one day. I'm so hyped right now.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. So before we get in, because Ibrahim, you will never guess what I'm about to say
What are you
because
about
I
to
didn't
say?
tell you beforehand. Um. But
What did you
so I
not
was
tell me?
thinking. Well, I didn't intend to tell you. So I was thinking, after last week's episode about infinity, right? So so we've got like um so when we make assumptions in maths, like
Yeah.
words which we use in maths and have assumptions behind them, like light or inextensible, they're almost always to do with either the number infinity or the number zero. So for
Okay.
example, if I were to say a line, what does that mean to you?
Well, to me, a line feels like the shortest distance between 2 points. Like I have a point here, I have a
Right, that's
point there,
exactly
and
what
I
we
have a
said
line
last time.
connecting them.
Yes. Well, not entirely. So in maths, a line is an infinite one-dimensional plane. Um,
Okay.
uh,
So it just goes
so
on forever.
it just goes on forever and it's infinitely thin. And it has no ends on either side. What you were describing is a line segment, so it's just connects 2 points, and it does not go on forever. If you have a start but no end, then it's called a ray.
Okay.
Um, and another word that we have in maths, if I were to say smooth, that's just like zero
Yeah.
coefficient
No
of
friction.
friction. No friction. Um, and then this guy last time said something about rough, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Uh, rough is just non-zero friction, but
Okay.
which is still to do with
It's still to
zero.
do with zero, just in the
Um,
other way.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So anyway, shoot, I forgot. Okay. Uh, but so today, all of that aside,
All
today
right,
we have
Louis,
a
do you want
very
to
special
introduce?
host.
Yeah.
Today we have a very special host joining us. Please welcome to the stage Ibrahim. I forgot your surname.
Chishti. My
I,
surname's Chishti. Um,
I feel like yeah, that's in my contacts. It's just yeah,
Probably.
Ibrahim Chesty, everybody.
Well, Louis, are you going to ask me what I was going to tell you that we were
Yeah.
going to talk
So
about today?
don't make the same mistake twice.
Don't
Uh,
worry, don't worry.
Okay. So Ibrahim, what do you want to tell us about today?
Well, today, Louis, I want to talk to you about a story, Project Hail Mary, which
Ooh,
recently
that's my
became a
favorite
film
book.
and a book.
Yes. It's the newest. It's a new film that came out ages ago.
Yeah, it
Um,
was new when it came out. Um,
yeah. Uh, it was new when it came out. Yes.
yeah.
Um,
Before we
so
begin,
why don't
Louis would like to make a disclaimer.
uh, would I?
Spoilers.
Oh, what was the disclaimer? Oh yes, the disclaimer. Yeah, if Project Hail Mary doesn't interest you, well, we're gonna do a quick synopsis anyway. But
Quick
there are going to be
synopsis.
spoilers. So if you do not want spoilers for Project Hail Mary and you have not seen or read it yet, first of all, what are you doing with your life? Second of all,
Please don't
leave.
listen to this episode of The
Don't
Rest of
listen to this
Socks.
because there will be spoilers. Anyway, let's go.
Okay, so our story begins in a star system very, very far away, where this random individual wakes up in a spaceship, right?
Mhm.
And he's just there, and he can't remember anything about himself. So he's like really weirded out because he's in a spaceship in the middle of nowhere. Except there's gravity. Except the gravity is not really what it's supposed to be. It's a lot stronger than it's supposed to be. So he does some exploring, and then he figures out that he's actually not. He's in a spaceship, but it's not near Earth. It's actually in another star system around the star Tau, right? And he does some thinking, and
Yeah.
also some exploring of his surroundings. And he realizes
And
that
also some
he's
pink blood.
sorry, and also some peeing blood. And he realizes that he's been in a coma for a while now, enough of a
And he's
while,
American.
and he's American. He's been in a coma for enough of a while so that he can go from the sun to Tau Ceti. So he's doing his thing, and he realizes there's a new instrument that he's never heard of before, probably because he can't remember anything. But it's called the Petroboscope. So he has a look through it, and he sees like this line going from Tau Ceti to one of the planets that go around Tau Ceti. So he's thinking about this, and then he notices that there's a bit of a gap within that line. So that's made him question what the line is. So he sort of like tries to wipe it off. Maybe it's something on the screen, but it's not. But eventually the gap goes away. Except the gap sort of seems like it's like an object that's moving towards him. So the object does its thing. It keeps moving until the object is literally right next to him, and it's become pretty obvious that's an alien ship, right? Uh, the radars in well, not really radars, I guess light does in the cockpit
Not
label it
radar
as
for
the blip
radio.
A. Oh, does the R stand for radio? I swear radar was like
Yeah,
sound.
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
You
you do
continue.
that. So the in his ship is labeled as the blip A, so he calls it the blip A, and we will too.
There's radio waves.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I thought what sound? Sound is sonar. My bad. Moving
Yeah.
on. He's there. He sees the alien ship, and the alien ship ends up throwing things to him. So he tries to go outside and catch some of them, and then when he does, he realizes there's a bunch of strange things about it. First of all, it's filled with ammonia, which really hurts his eyes. But it also reminds him that he should probably contain it somewhere. So he puts it into the hazmat containing thing, and then he does some. He looks into it, realizes it's made of xenon, and also it has like a star map showing where the ship came from, and it didn't come from Tau Ceti. It didn't come from the sun either. It came from a separate star called Erid, or Eridani. So he ends up sending a couple messages back saying, "Look, I'm from the sun," um, and at some point they end up meeting face to face because the Blip A ends up building a tunnel that connects to Grace's ship. And around this time, we will jump back to Earth just to understand, because at this point, Grace is starting to remember some things about himself now.
Yeah. So Grace had a flashback. First of all, after remembering that he was a school teacher. Oh yeah, he remembered he was a school teacher. Second, after he peed blood, it was very important. Um, and a couple more times at some unspecified points because I don't remember them.
Yeah,
Um, but so yeah, so he flashes back to when he's in his class, he's teaching the kids. One of the kids asks, "Hey Grace, what's the because yeah, they're weird. They call their teachers by their first names. Don't know anyone who does that. But yeah, he goes, "Hey
well, actually, I
Grace,
think
what's
Grace
the
is his surname. I think Grace might be his surname,
Oh shoot, Grace is
Mr.
Grace's
Grace.
yeah, Grace is his surname. Um, uh, anyway, yeah, ignore my side tangent on calling teachers by their first names weird. Uh, so they go, "Hey Grace, what's the betrothal line?" And he's like, "Oh, the sun is shrinking, but don't worry, it's chill. Smart people working on it." Anyway, one such smart person called Eva Strat approaches him after the class and goes, "Hey, we are struggling on this betrothal line thingy. Want to come join us?" He's like, "No." She's like, "Oh, you can help save the world." He's like, no." And then she's like, "Okay, but wouldn't it be cool? Because Grace, he used to be like a well-respected scientist, but then he wrote a thing on how like aliens don't need water to live, and it's just Earth life that requires water." Um, uh, and then Eva's like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could prove all of those scientists wrong, and go out there and do your thing, and we can help you with that if you help us." And he's like, "No." So he goes home. He lives his life for a bit. He gets kidnapped by them because he didn't
He wasn't supposed to say
because for
no.
plot. He wasn't supposed to say no. The plot needed to progress somehow. Uh, so yeah, they put him in a suit with astrophage. What? They put him in a lab with astrophage, and then they watch him from behind a glass
But
screen.
Louis, what's astrophage?
Oh shoot, astrophage. Um, yeah, astrophage is the alien that's eating the sun. Um, so yeah, they tell him about the alien that's eating the sun. They put him in a lab and studies astrophage, and he's like, hold on, hear me out on this. What if I poke it with a stick?
But a very
So he pokes
scientific
it with a
poke with a
stick.
very scientific stick.
Um, he pokes it with a stick, and even makes fun of him for it taking him 15 minutes or half an hour to think of poking it with a stick.
No, it took him
Um,
way longer than that. Didn't it take him like 3, 4 hours?
I
However long it
don't
took him.
remember. Yes. And then he finds out that it's mostly made of water. Goes in a sulk. Goes home. Decides to that his kids, and by his kids I mean the kids that he teaches
His
in school,
students.
are going. His students are going to be affected by this apocalypse. So he goes back and says, "Hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I actually do want to help you guys." And they're like, no." And he's like, "Wait, but I thought you needed my help." And they're like, "Yeah, but we're not really
We,
looking
we
for."
were just
Yeah,
capping. We
you
just
know what?
wanted someone.
We yeah yeah. You know what? We've got like 1,000 astrophish or something. We are more than willing to spare you. Not more than willing. We are like just about willing to spare you about three astrophish. So he goes with his three astrophish. He gets this guy to help him build a box, and breeds the astrophish. And
Except that's a very
um,
big thing.
Yeah, except that's a very big thing. And because it's such a big thing, we're going to go back to Mars or wherever it is.
To Taosei. So
Yeah,
they're doing
close
their
enough.
thing. Grace now knows that they're both him and the alien are here for astrophage related reasons. And now that he's seen it face to face, it looks that the alien looks like a pile of rocks. So he ends up calling the alien Rocky, and we'll call him that
Wonder
too
why.
because that's his name. Um, so him and Rocky end up teaming up. Right, Rocky moves into Grace's ship, which is called the Hail Mary. He now remembers. Um, so Grace and Rocky are doing their thing, but it turns out Rocky's been in the system for way longer than Grace, which means that Rocky has mapped out the entirety of the Tau Ceti system, which is perfect because now Grace knows exactly where to go to find the branch of the Petrova line that's connected to the planet. So he goes to the planet, does some sampling of the astrophage, and realizes that there's way less astrophage than predicted, which means there must be some form of predator that's eating the astrophage, which also means it's the astrophage homeworld, funnily enough. But anyway, he goes to the astrophage world. He does the sampling, then realizes there's a predator, and him and Rocky come together, both the greatest minds of their species within reason, and together they both decide, you know what, let's make a fishing line so that we can fish for the predator. And they both agree that that's an incredible idea. So they end up doing that. They make a fishing line. They go fishing for the predator, except the Hail Mary ends up going very, very low into the atmosphere of this new planet, which we're going to call Adrian, just to make it sound like an old office worker. Um,
Was it
so
called Adrian in the book?
it is called Adrian in the book.
Okay,
So
I forgot. It's been a
they
while.
they go into Adrian to sample the predator. So that's all well and done. Except now, when they come out of Adrian with the predator correctly sampled, there's a hole in one of Grace's fuel tanks. And it turns out his fuel tanks have a bunch of astrophage in them left over from wherever the astrophage came from. So now, all the astrophage in Grace's fuel tanks is rushing out to get to the Adrian homeworld, because that's where they want to be, right? That's where they've been evolved to search for, the Adrian. So all the astrophage is leaving, which causes Grace's ship to go spinning round and round and round, which causes a bunch of gravity, which Rocky's more accustomed to than Grace. So Rocky tries to fix it, except Rocky has to be in Grace's atmosphere to fix it, so Rocky almost dies. So we'll get back to Rocky's state of being in a bit after Louis finishes off everything that happened back on Earth.
Okay, yeah. So, I love the timeline on this, by the way. Anyway, so back on Earth, uh, uh, shoot, Grace gets permission from Eva Strat to be like to know things, classified information. And it turns out they've got a whole team working on this because it's kind of like a world-ending thing. Um, they're building a cool little ship that they're gonna fly like three people up.
Hey Louis, where are they going to fly
To
to?
That's why I was saying in the middle of saying the word two.
Oh my god.
Um, to like Mars or something. Um, uh, this is the point where you correct me.
It's to Tau Ceti. It goes to Tau Ceti,
Yeah,
not
two
Mars.
Ceti. Um, uh, that's what that or something was, by the way. So, um, yeah. Sorry. Where were we?
They're making a ship, and Grace has been
They're making
hired
a
to
ship.
be the lead scientist.
And Grace is going to be the lead scientist because he made his three astrophage into four, which means they can make their 1,000 astrophage into like more than 1,000, which is pretty cool. Because the whole point of the ship is that it's fueled by the astrophage because the astrophage moves really fast because it goes from the sun all the way to Venus and then back to the sun. It is Venus, right?
It is Venus.
Good. I got one thing right.
Yes.
So they meet a bunch of scientists. Grace asks them how they want to die, because it's a one-way trip because we can't be bothered to get enough fuel for a two-way trip. Um, Originally they didn't even have enough fuel for the one-way trip, but then Grace helped with that. So the two of them choose like really boring ways. One of them chooses what I thought was an argon chamber. It's actually
It's
a
an
nitrogen
estrogen.
chamber. Estrogen.
Nitrogen.
Yeah, a nitrogen chamber. And the other one chooses a gun. Um, which would be pretty cool, but for the fact that he's not allowed to murder the other two if unless their things go haywire. Um, and then the third one chooses a heroin overdose, which is a fun way.
Yeah.
Kinda sometimes. Um, so yeah. So all's well and good. They have fun. They blow up a lab. They panic about the blown up lab. We can get to the blow up lab in the conversation afterwards.
Yeah.
Um, uh, they and then Eva is like, "Hey, Grace." So basically, the problem with the ship is it takes a really long time to get there. So what they're going to do is they're going to put Grace. So no, they're going to put the three people into a coma. Um, and sent them off into space. And like 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 1 million people have this cool coma gene, which allows you to survive being in a coma for a really long time sometimes. Um, and it turns out the two people that died in the explosion of the lab, um, uh, unfortunately, were gonna go on the mission, and they had the coma gene. But guess who else does? Grace. So they send Grace. So Eva sends Grace against his will up into space, but don't worry, she also has to drug him so that he doesn't try to fight. But don't worry, his crew's gonna fill him in when he gets into space, and nothing could go wrong with that. Okay, that's bit done.
So, anyway, something I forgot to mention at the beginning was that Grace actually woke up with three people on the ship, except two of them had died. So now Grace is the only one on the ship, and he had to hold a funeral for the other two people, which meant that Strat's idea of having the other crew fill him in weren't really that good of an idea because the other crew couldn't fill him in because of their
And that's why
deadness.
that's that's why I had to be here to explain the flashbacks.
Exactly. But luckily, with Louis' explanations, Grace understands the mission, and he continues with trying to. He's sampled the predator, and Rocky's realized that Rocky's basically dead. So Grace decides to try and kill him more by trying to help him, um, by clearing off the scabs because he's not unaware of the Iridian healing process. He thought the scabs were ash, so he tries to clear them up, and then Rocky wakes up, looks down, and says, "Grace, what did you do? Because you almost killed me. Like, again."
We talked about this. Stop killing me.
Exactly. So, anyway, they move on. Rocky's like, you know what, you tried to help, I'll forgive you. So they do their thing, and they breed the predator, which they now call the Talmiba, into a state where it can survive on Venus and the Iridian homeworld. So,
Yeah, because it couldn't survive before.
because it couldn't
Because
survive before,
too much
because
nitrogen.
nitrogen.
Yeah.
So they do their thing. They go their separate ways. Grace back to the sun, and Rocky back to Eridani. And then Grace, on his way back, realizes, oh wait, the material that Rocky's ship is made of, the Talmiba can get through that. And the Talmiba also eats astrophage, which is both mine and Rocky's fuel. So, well, that's going to cause some issues now. At least my ship is made of aluminium, which the Talmiba can't get through. But Rocky's fuel and Talmiba are literally right next to each other now. So, well, something's up. So now Grace has a decision to make. He can either continue going back to the planet with the crazed woman who drugged him and put him on a spaceship 12 light years away, or he could go to save his best friend and his entire species. So he ends up choosing, surprisingly, to save his best friend and save his entire species. He sends some Talmiba back on little ships
The best
that were
friend's entire
originally
species,
supposed to.
not his entire species. Just
So,
for confirmation.
yeah.
Application.
So he sends the Talmiba back on little ships that were designed for that. And then he goes back to help save Rocky and end up taking some Talmiba up to Rocky's homeworld as well. So they do that. Grace is celebrated as a hero by Rocky's friends. And they end up building a cool enclosure for him. And then the astronomers on Rocky's world find out that the sun survived as well. So they tell Grace. Grace is really happy. They ask him if he wants to go back, and Grace ends up saying no. And that's pretty much where the story ends.
Okay, how much time do we have?
About 10 minutes.
Okay, is that good?
Plenty of time. So,
Okay, good.
Louis, what do you think
It
about
would
the
be
story?
terrible if we had to retake because we've never had to retake one of these, and
Yeah.
hopefully we never will have to retake one of these.
Hopefully this will be the only time.
Because then we'd have to redo every single one of these jokes,
I know.
and then it becomes more scripted,
Which makes
which
it
would be
worse.
super annoying.
Exactly.
But we
So
talk about this for 10 minutes.
let's keep it going for 10 minutes.
Anyway, yeah.
What do you
So,
think about the story, Louis?
I thought it was good. So we didn't explain this in the plot synopsis because it was there to the plot, but it was so one of my favorite parts of the story is because he doesn't understand Rocky's language, and Rocky doesn't understand his language because Rocky's language is all like chords and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just imagining because we generally have chord progression of 4 to 8 chords.
Yeah.
So if you played Rocky a song, he'd just hear the same 4 words on repeat. But anyway, aside from that, so I like how Andy Weir, the author of the book, shows them overcoming the language barrier.
Yeah.
And
With maths, right?
discovering different words and stuff. Yeah, with maths first, and then with other words.
Yeah. They originally exchanged numbers, and they end up widening that to a full vocabulary.
Exchange numbers.
Yeah.
And also that Rocky's blind. That's a cool little addition.
Yeah. We didn't actually mention it, but Rocky's species sees through echolocation, which is a virtue in some ways and bad in some other ways. It's actually bad in a way in that because they never had any experience with light, they never discovered relativity or radioactivity, which was pretty heartbreaking to read.
Effectively, there used to be 26 on the crew.
Something like that.
Making there about 29 total attempting to orbit what's the thing called?
Taosei.
Mars Plus.
Yeah.
And the 29 total people got down to 2. So that's fun. Being Rocky and
Grace. Another thing that's explored in the book is about how Rocky and Grace are both sort of similar in terms of technological ability, right? And that they were both just about able to create an interstellar mission, and they both sort of have similar technology. So they're sort of talking about this for a little bit. They're like, oh, why are we so similar? And then Rocky brings up a very good point about how, let's say they were cave people, they would have just died, right? The sun would have dimmed, and they wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. And let's say they were super advanced, super technological, then they could have just got rid of the astrophage like that, right? It would have been really, really simple to do. So they were both in the middle bit where they had to go do some sampling in order to solve the astrophage
Uh-huh.
problem, which I thought was very
So there
interesting.
might have so there might have been other species that actually just died out or just solved
Or
it
just solve the
immediately.
issue immediately, yeah.
Yeah, barely came. Um, the other cool idea. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Oh, another interesting thing that was
Um,
explored. Oh, you want to say?
no, I'll remember.
Another interesting thing that's explored is about how the astrophage was able to travel between star systems, right? And Rocky, by studying each other's biology and also by looking it up on Wikipedia, because Grace had the entire internet as a copy with him. So by exchanging information, they realized that they both rely on water and they both have DNA, right? Which is quite weird if they both evolved separately. So Grace and Rocky come up with a theory. Also, astrophage use DNA as well, interestingly enough. So they all come up with a theory that maybe life originated at one point and then spread across the stars, like with spores and stuff, which is quite cool.
Oh yeah, I remembered what I was gonna say. Um, so the also um because Andy was like really good with this. Like anything sciencey, it's not gonna be like a plot hole or just like a
He tries to
massive
make it accurate.
convenience. He tries to make it accurate. So the reason why they could both hear each other, if not understand each other, is because the like pitch, I guess, that we can hear allows us to hear like two like objects knocking against each other.
For
So which
example,
is
just as an example,
yeah. You asking me for an example?
no, I just gave an example.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Oh, did you not? Let me do it louder.
No,
Could you hear that one?
no, no, because you have to be talking, otherwise your mic turns off.
Oh, does it mute? Okay. Oh, I'll just clap. That works as well.
Yeah, that. So
Yeah.
that was the sound of a predator heading towards prey. So you need to be if you're prey, you need to be able to escape that. Um, so yeah. Um, so that bit sort of reminds me. If I don't know if you've ever read what's the third book in the Northern Lights? The Amber Spyglass.
Oh, I'm not sure I have, you know.
Oh, uh, or then I can't say it. Um, Go read the Northern Lights.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry.
Anyway. Oh yeah, just a reminder, if you're just joining us now, about how long into the podcast?
27 minutes.
27 minutes into the podcast. It's not too late to turn off if you don't want any spoilers for the book. I don't know why you've just joined 27 minutes into the
Not even just
podcast,
just
but
fast forwarded to 27 minutes.
yeah, you your RNG told you 27 minutes. Yeah. They also make him eat himself, which is cool.
Oh yeah, because Grace ends up running out of food at some point. So they cloned Grace to make more food,
Uh-huh.
which is quite. But given that Grace was only living off of like IV fluid, it sort of feels good to have some form of meat, even if it's his own meat.
Um, well, better better your own meat than someone else's, I guess.
I
Um,
guess, unless that someone else is like a lamb or some chicken. I wouldn't mind some chicken.
yeah.
Um,
Then, yeah.
yeah.
Um, Andy Weir, I've read all three of his sci-fi space books.
Oh, what's the third one?
They're
I've
all
read
really.
I've read The Martian and Hail Mary. What's the
This is
third?
the third one. Hail Mary is the third one. The second one's Artemis.
Oh, I haven't read
Um,
Artemis.
Artemis, like it's not as good as the others, but that's just because the others are super good. It's a pretty good
Okay,
book.
okay, I'll read it. I'll
Um,
read it.
The Martian was my second favorite. Obviously. Um, I feel like you specifically would like Artemis.
Artemis. Okay, I'll
Um,
I'll read Artemis. Uh,
the main character sort of reminds me of you in a way.
okay.
Um,
Um,
but yeah. Um, it's great that we had a 15-minute plot synopsis plus a 5-minute talk on Infinity plus 10-minute actual podcast type talk
yeah.
about this.
I got some feedback from one of our friends actually that In the pilot episode, we had a conclusion bit where we summed everything up for everyone who fast forwarded to the end. But then we just forgot about that. So how about let's do a quick conclusion right now?
No, because the point of the thing is that if you fast forwarded to the end, then you should turn off. I did one of those earlier.
Oh, you did. My bad. My bad.
I
Um,
did not intentionally. I've
yeah.
also I've also had some feedback that I should stop saying and ah so
I feel like
much.
that adds to the
And to that,
spontaneity, though. It adds to the
yeah, it
awkwardness.
adds. Yeah, it adds to the awkwardness. The point is, it's an awkward podcast. So to the person that said that, no.
Okay.
I
Uh,
love. I added the before that by accident, but
but it
imagine I
fits
added it
so
on
well.
purpose. I It was to make a statement.
With that being said,
Um,
we are at half an hour now. So,
we are indeed at half an hour. So thank you everybody. We didn't do a sponsor segment.
oh, we
Let's do a
did.
quick
Let's do a
sponsor
quick one
segment.
now. Um,
Okay, Ibrahim.
I didn't think of an original joke.
I gave you like 40 minutes.
I'm sorry. Um, Here,
Okay,
I would like
well,
to introduce you to our current sponsors, which is myself and Louis, who invest so much time into this podcast. A solid half an hour
we do not
every
invest
episode.
money into the podcast.
We invest
I
our
I
own
have
time and
I've spent
efforts.
literally nothing on this podcast except for technically the energy bill, but
Exactly.
but not but not
Um,
really because yeah,
so we've put so
water
much,
takes more
we
energy
put
than
so
this.
little into this podcast that I feel like we should be honored as sponsors. So,
Oh, yes, okay. We thank you for doing that joke. We If we put money in, then we can like ultra sponsor ourselves,
oh, you're
like
right, you're
actual
right.
sponsors. But if you want to become our first ever sponsor,
Please do.
there's no link in our Spotify page
I mean, there's an
to do
email.
that. Just give us your money, and we will take it, and we might invest it into the podcast, and we might talk about you on our podcast,
Yeah.
or we might not, depending on how much what's it called? Um, Incognito? No.
How anonymous you want to be?
How anonymity? Depending on how anonymous you want to be. Although, why would you want to sponsor us if you want to remain anonymous? I don't question it. I just I just
We
accept
just
your
let it
money.
happen. So
We just accept your money.
with that final bit out of the way, uh, it's been a good episode. This one. We'll see you
Yep.
next time.
Next time we do have a guest speaker next time. So
Yes.
yeah, keep in touch. Keep in touch. Listen to that one.
Yeah.
Listen to this one.
Yes, please. You
Okay,
can listen to it
bye.
again.